Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video. My name is Hudson from That Coaster Geek, and today I'll be answering the profound question when it comes to Virginia's two premier amusement parks, both Busch Gardens Williamsburg and Kings Dominion. That being, of course, which is the better theme park? There are a tremendous amount of videos surrounding this question, but I haven't done it yet, and I think my opinions may differ from other people. I'm going to be comparing both parks and these four main topics with some subtopics: rides, shows, food, and the overall atmosphere. I will also state my own personal preferences between these two parks to spice it up a bit and not have such a cookie cutter video. One last thing before we start comparing, let me explain where I personally come from with these parks. I have been to Busch Gardens a total of 5 times and Kings Dominion a total of 3 times. So off the bat, my experiences with Busch Gardens are more frequent as I've had more time to experience the park as is, but that also means I've experienced both parks at different time periods throughout. Alright, our first topic will be the rides. Kings Dominion has a total of 12 operating roller coasters, with 1 being under construction, that being Rapterra, and Busch Gardens Williamsburg has 10 operating roller coasters, with 1 being under construction, that being Big Bad Wolf, The Wolf's Revenge. Just looking at stats, Kings Dominion would seem like the better park, as it has more rides. However, that is not the case whatsoever. Kings Dominion has a very top-heavy lineup, with the Instrument Giga Pantherian, formerly known as Incinerator 305, and the RMC iBox Twisted Timbers. Many enthusiasts claim this to be one of, if not the best 1-2 punch in any theme park, and I can see it. However, after those 2 rides, there's a pretty big drop-off. You have the Bean and Floorless Dominator, and then a lot of cloned rides. Some are good, don't get me wrong. I like Reg 75, Toonbilly, and Anaconda was actually pretty good, may it rest in peace. I think that with the new addition of Rapterra, a gap will be filled within the lineup, and I think that will play a major role in the comparison of these two parks, as Busch Gardens doesn't really have anything like Rapterra. Kings Dominion also has a decent flat ride collection. They have a huge Intamin gyro drop tower, a Mondial Frisbee named Delirium, and their own Windseeker. I've only been on Windseeker as the prior 2 were closed during my most recent trip back in 2023. They also have a dark ride, that being Boo Blasters on Boo Hill, and finally they have 2 water rides, Whitewater Canyon and Shenandoah Lumber Company Log Flume. Now, let's move over to Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Like stated earlier, they don't have as many coasters as Kings Dominion, but this park has quality over quantity. I do think that Kings Dominion's 1-2 punch is better than any of the coasters at Busch Gardens. Busch Gardens has consistency, however. You have your immersion-focused rides with Alpengeist, Loch Ness Monster, and Griffin. You have your wooden coaster with Invader. You have your launch coasters with Pantheon, Verbolten, Tempesto, and Dark Coaster. And then you have your airtime machine, Apollo's Chariot. Not to mention the flat rides at the park. You have Finnegan's Flyer, the rides in Italy, the chair swings, and Mott Tower, may it rest in peace. You also have your transport rides that offer great views, with the Sky Ride, Rhine River Cruise, and the Train. And you have your water rides, 3 to be exact: Roman Rapids, La Scoot, and Escape from Pompeii. Busch Gardens has rides that can fit most people's demographics, unlike Kings Dominion, where there is a fine line between thrill and family rides. Another thing that you can make as a subtopic is line efficiency. As far as I'm aware, Kings Dominion doesn't have single rider lines from its attractions, unlike Busch Gardens. During our recent visit, we rode Apollo's Chariot and Griffin multiple times, abusing the single rider line. It made that experience a whole lot better. Busch Gardens also does a better job with theming, although Kings Dominion has been stepping up their game. Look at Verbolten, Dark Coaster, although I didn't ride it, and the newly renovated Loch Ness Monster. The only rides that really have theming at Kings Dominion are Toonbilly, Twisted Timbers, and Flight of Fear, and hopefully the new for 2025 Rapterra. So for this category, I'm going to give it to Busch Gardens Williamsburg. Not to say Kings Dominion doesn't have good rides. I mean, 2 of their coasters placed in my top 5, with the Intimidator being my number 1. I just think that Busch Gardens has quality over quantity, and their lineup stands out compared to Kings Dominion. This is a short category. Busch Gardens wins. I don't think I've ever seen a show at Kings Dominion during a visit, but I have with Busch Gardens. My favorite of the bunch is Celtic Fire. This Irish tap dancing show is awesome, and it's always a nice place to go to get away from the heat. I've eaten at both parks many times, and lots of different places as well. My favorite place to eat at Busch Gardens include Marco Polo's Marketplace, Trapper's Smokehouse, and Les Fratis, as these are the only places I've eaten at. And for King's Dominion, I don't even remember what I ate my first 2 visits in 2018, but in 2023, we ate at Boardwalk Fries. I think Busch Gardens has the better and more diverse food options, especially if you go during the Food and Wine Festival. However, I need to explore more of King's Dominion's food as I've had too little to judge. Each of these parks have their own charm to them, and there isn't really any ugly spots in either park. But let's be real here. Busch Gardens has been voted as the most beautiful theme park countless times, and its theming with the European countries are beyond superb. Putting King's Dominion against Busch Gardens in this category isn't a fair battle, but it is what it is. My favorite areas of Busch Gardens are Oktoberfest, Scotland, Italy, and the plaza around both Griffin and Alpengeist. These areas are gorgeous to walk through and a photographer's dream. I could have easily spent hours at each of these places taking videos and pictures. When it comes to King's Dominion, I really like what they are doing with the Jungle Exhibition area, as the Tombili Plaza looks nice. I also like the Candy Apple Grove and Old Virginia areas, as there are a lot of trees and shade, and so many beautiful buildings and scenery, but it has nothing compared to Busch Gardens. So, Busch Gardens won every category it was given, but that's not to say it was a clean sweep. Each park has its own pros and cons, and I have just as much fun at King's Dominion as I do Busch Gardens. There are plans about going to King's Dominion in the spring this year, so we'll have to wait and see. And who knows, maybe my opinions will change. But for now, this is how I put the 2 parks against each other. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Hudson from That Coaster Geek, and I'll see you all soon.